Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. In this tutorial video for the RadioMaster MT12 radio, which is used for cars and boats, I'm going to show you how to start up a new model. It is very simple, and then I'm going to go on to a complex model that I've set up with things like safe throttle and warnings for your battery. Now, I'm not going to go into this in detail. I'm going to show you it. So if you have any questions on how you do this, you can always put a question in the description below of this video and I will try to assist you. But I'm just going to give you an overview into it. So any problems, please just contact me and I will try and assist you. So let's switch over to the MT12. So let me show you how to make a new model. We're going to hit the model key, which is here, and we're going to scroll down till we get to a spare slot. We're going to push enter and we're going to see create. Now what that does, it sets up a basic model. So if I go through the screens, and we go the other way. Okay, so we've now put our name in there. We can set up timers however we want to. I'm going to show you a timer in a minute. And we've got all the setup options in here. Basically you won't need to change many things in here. When you come to bind, because this MT12 has a Express LRS internal module, I would have to activate it here and select CRSF, and then that would be now working. We've got all other features as well. If we click on that arrow, that will give us all the options, where we can choose global options or pick specific options for this particular model car. Now if we go forward, we can forget the heli setup. The modes, I'm going to show you that later, where we can put driving modes in there. And go forward. There we go, there's our inputs, our throttle and our steering. Then we've got the mixes for both that, both of the throttle and steering. And I'm going to show you how to set up a safe throttle where you'd have to arm the motor before the car will actually move. More important in aeroplanes than a model car, but it's a nice feature that you can do. These are curves. We've got logical switches that we can use. You've sort of very rarely use those with cars, I would suspect. And special functions is where we put sounds. So we can link sounds, and this is telemetry. We're going to go through that some other time, where you'll be able to get back telemetry from your car, like the main battery voltage, so you know whether to bring the car back home, or you can carry on driving for another 5 or 6 minutes or whatever. And that is it. So I'm going to come out of here now. So now let's take a look at a model that I've already set up. And we're going to hit the model key. I'm going to scroll up to Carnage 2 and select. Now you heard all the sounds it was making there that I've set up. So, and I've got an arm switch. So if I click this switch here, so we can disarm the motor so the car won't go forward unless we tell it to. You're right. Let's have a look. So you can see I put the name in, Carnage. Now this is where my timer is being set off by a logical switch. It's not by a physical switch, but a logical switch. And I'll show you those in just a moment. Right, and you can see I've set a timer up. This times how long the battery's been going for, and then I've set up a warning to say after a certain amount of time, give me a warning that the battery, and then I'd know the battery is getting low. We can see if we go down further, it's actually the internal module is on, so that is bound to my model car. And here is the trainer mode, where we can set up the training system, and we'll do that at a later date. And again, there's the global functions that we can turn on and off. I've turned the heli off so that screen doesn't show. The driver modes, and that's it. Let's go on to the next screen. Then you can see in the driver's modes, I've got armed and disarmed. So this will show up on the front screen of the radio. So if I push enter, you can see all I've done is selected armed, and that is it. Okay, come out of there. If we go to disarmed, I've now said switch SA in the forward position and called it disarmed, and that's all we need. Now if I come back out of here, I return out of here, and we go to the front screen, and if you watch it, you can see it's disarmed, and when I flick the switch, it's armed. So it shows us, it gives us a verbal warning, and it shows us that the motor is now armed. Okay, let's go back into the model. And so we've taken a look at the modes. The inputs will be just left as standard on this model. And then when we get to the mixes, you can see I've got mixes here on the throttle. Now this is so I can have a safe throttle. Now it's I'll quickly just run through this. We'll have a look at each part that you have to edit to get this to work. So you can see the weight is at 100 and the switch that operates it is logical switch 7. Now we come out of here, then we go, let's go back again. We go into the second part. Now the reason I've done this is so that I can have a training mode. So in other words, half the throttle, so the car will only go half the speed. So you see we changed our weight to 50 and that reduces the amount of throttle throw that we have. And that is activated by logical switch 8. Okay, if you're new to this, you may not fully understand this, but if you need any ask me something, just leave a message in the description below, and I will try and help you. And there's the arm. Now, because I'm using Express LRS, you have to arm on channel 5. That's important. So that's the arming switch. Let's just have a look at it. And all it is, we type in the mixes arm, we choose the switch we want to use, and that should be it. There won't be anything else in there. Right, let's just return out. And let's carry on going. Outputs, you'll just ignore that. Now, let me go back. The reason the output is there is because I had to adjust the trim to get the car to go straight. Right, then we've got a curve. Now, this curve is to do with the safe throttle. Let's just take a look at it. And basically what you do is you name the curve, and then you just change it to the point you want. You drag the curve down. So I think what I'll do is let me show you how that works. I'm going to go into the next curve. I'm not going to name it, but we're going to change the points down to, oops a daisy, just to 2. I'm going to go across, and we see the square is now highlighted. We can drag, oh, wrong way. We can drag that down to the bottom. Then we go on to the next one, and we highlight it. We click enter, and again we drag that down. Now we have our curve that we need for the safe throttle. So let's come out of there. I'm just going to, I'll leave that as it is. That's fine. We don't need to change that back. Then we come to the logical switches. Now there are a lot of switches here on this one. You don't really need to worry about these at the moment, but what the first logical switch does, it checks the battery within the car, and if the battery drops below 5.6, it will give me a warning telling me, so I know to stop driving the car. These two logical switches here are also used to do the safe throttle, because obviously the throttle centers so you can go backwards and forwards. In an aeroplane we don't need to do this part, but in here we did. I had to program this to do this. So if you were following this, you could just follow it parent fashion and put this in and it should work. And then you can see the logical switch. Logical switch 4 is a combination of all logical switch 2 or logical switch 3. Then we get into the edge. We need edge, and we choose switch SD that I've chosen here. So this is a little bit complicated for a beginner. The sticky switch, it's making a sticky switch of that edge switch. You'll see it says logical switch 5. And then if we go down to the final part of this, is that we use logical switch 7. It says and not logical switch 6, which is what the exclamation mark means. It means not that one. And the next one, logical switch 8, says and the logical switch 6, and with those switches being active. Now I don't want to go into this detail, but I wanted to show you what you can do. Any questions, put them in the description below and I will try and assist you. And maybe make a video at a later date for this. Right, let me go to the special functions. Now the top one is to do with the LEDs. So I've changed it so my LEDs are in green, my favourite colour. Then you can see we've set up a switch SA in the back position, plays armed, in a forward position says disarmed. And then we've got the warning on logical switch 1 that I showed you, that I think was 5.6 volts. That will give me a warning to tell me the battery is getting too low and I should stop. The next line helps you reset the timer. So you need to set that up to a switch. So it should be this one here.
Timer 1%.
It resets the timer, and then we've got the play track of that, so that resets it, but that plays the sound you heard. And then we've got turn the trainer on and off. So that allows us to, let me see if I can do this. Right, so
Trainer off.
the trainer is off,
Trainer off.
and the trainer mode is on. And then we got to telemetry, which I'm going to discuss in another video, where I show you what type of telemetry can come back to your receiver that you could use in the radio, using those logical switches to give you warnings. There is a bit of a learning curve with EdgeTX, but it's simple. Just open up a new car and you should be able to start driving straight away once you've bound your receiver to your radio. Now in a later video I will show you how to do that in detail, how to bind Express LRS receivers and to also bind anyone who's got an MPM version, the multi-protocol module version of this. Well, I do hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. But if you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and if you have any comments or questions, as I said earlier, please leave them in the comment section below and I will try to assist you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, happy driving, bye for now.